Hello everyone. This video will show how to solve this classic word problem. On a recent 90-mile trip, Matea averages 55 miles per hour over the first 45 miles. What should be her average speed for the second half of the trip if she wants to average 60 miles per hour over the whole trip? So we're going to set up the equation for this problem. So we say that the total trip is 90 miles. So it was cut in half and half. So we can go ahead and say we have 45 and then plus 45. That will give us 90. So that's the distance, 45 miles and then 45 miles. The total is 90 miles. In the problem, we're given the speed of the first half, which is 55. So we're going to create a ratio between distance and speed. So we already have a distance right here. So we're going to have speed over this distance. So I can go ahead and say that on the first 45 miles, Matea had a speed of 55 miles per hour. So I'm going to write 55 over that. And then on the other half of the trip, we don't know what that is. So we can represent that as x. It says in the problem that the total trip should have an average of 60. So we put that over the 90. So we can go ahead and say that on the first 45 miles, the average speed of Matea is 55. On the other half, which is also 45, we don't know what the speed is. But the whole thing, on the average, the whole thing or the whole trip is 90 miles and the average speed is 60. So we need to figure out what is the average speed of Matea on the second half of the trip. If you notice, the denominator for these two fractions are not the same. So we can go ahead and multiply 1 to each of the two fractions so that their denominators will be the same. So I go ahead and multiply 1 to the first fraction in a form of x over x. So x divided by x is 1. I got that from here. And then I will multiply the second by 1, which is in a form of 55 over 55. So 55 divided by 55 is 1. So pretty much we're multiplying these two fractions by 1. So we're pretty much not changing any of the values. So we go ahead and do the math here. So this would be 45x over 55x plus, multiplying these two, 45 times 55 is 2,475. And that is over 55x. And that is equal to 90 over 60. So if you notice, we already have the same denominator. So we can write it down, 55x. And we can write the numerator, we're adding them. So that is 45x plus 2,475, and that is equal to 90 over 60. So we're going to solve for x here. To do that, we're going to cross multiply these two and cross multiply these two. So our equation would come out. We can reduce this fraction right here into 9 over 6 instead of 90 over 60. So we're not dealing with big numbers. So we can go ahead and say write 6 here. So again, we can cancel out the zeros here so that it's in reduced form. So 9 over 6. So what I would do is I will have 6. I will multiply this with this binomial that we have right here. So that's 45x plus 2,475, and that is equal to 9. I will multiply that by 55x. So I go ahead and distribute this 6 to each of the terms inside the parentheses. So our equation would come out. So what I did was I distributed the 6, and this is the answer on the left side, and I multiply 9 and 55x. So what we do is we're going to solve for x, where we're going to group like terms. So I'm going to subtract 270x on both sides minus 270x. So our equation would come out. We want x by itself, so we're dividing 225 from both sides. So the average speed of Matea on the second half of the trip is 66 miles per hour. So that is how we solve this classic word problem.